Good evening, everybody. We have a little tiny tripod, and so you're down there tonight. Say hello, wife.
Hello.
Because audio and visual production is what we're known for at this channel. Did anybody buy a pallet of water since the last brief? That's what I want to know.
That was funny.
It was the best.
I giggled.
You kept everybody questioning life.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Hydrate. I get this question every live stream. James Reyes, what military background do you have? None. I did not serve in uniform. I work with men and women who serve in uniform. I was a DOD and DIA SME, or subject matter expert. Done contracting for the federal government, state governments, and several agencies as well. I know stuff. Stepping in to say a hi. I work on the cottage. Still working on the cottage. Roger that. What's up, Humble? Grover checking in. What's up, Dragon?
He has like a podcast.
Dragon Shield has a podcast?
On your brief. When you just see the water and just listen to your voice.
So
it's like listening to a podcast.
The brief is actually in podcast form on iTunes and Spotify and all that. You can just look for Bear Independent. You can find the briefs on there as well. No pallet of water to look at. No. So there's a button on here. Look, and I accidentally hit this button last time. Now you can see Bob's 0% beer, Foe's Blue Dangle Mafia shirt, a bleeding control kit, Shalom brother, and an advanced ripaway kit. And so last time, Shalom Patriot Plumber, last time I did this, I accidentally hit that button, and so y'all were looking at a pallet of water for 40 minutes or so, and let's be frank, I don't effing care.
They enjoyed it.
So
They loved
it. It was awesome.
we might just start doing this on occasion, just to see if we can
Keep you on your toes.
Yeah, subliminal messages for, and especially all the new people who are freaking out. Like, are we supposed to go buy water?
Subliminal messaging.
Is that what he's trying to say? We need to go buy water.
It's a code.
It was actually the whole he really does buy a pallet of everything.
Oh, that's one of 3 pallets of water that we bought the last time. Like, and that's interesting. People are like, oh, he really does do this. He really does mean what he said. Yeah, if I say it, I mean it. So
he really does a lot more than you.
Yeah.
Than he doesn't say.
Yeah, I do a lot of things too that never make it to camera. So,
Shalom, brother.
Jinx.
Whoa.
All the jinxies.
It's trippy. I gotta get this piece.
So it's I don't know what it is right now, but it was 102 earlier on the porch.
Yeah.
So we're inside in the not porch.
Enjoying some AC.
So yeah.
Back at the brick wall.
Let your yes be yes, Dustin Pribble. That is correct. There's a tour for that. So for all the noobs, the way this works is the primary rule while you're here in the chat is don't be an a-hole. Be nice to each other. Okay? So the people above you and below you in the chat, that is your brother and sister, and if you cannot conduct yourself in that way, you can't hang out here. So don't be an a-hole. Next, put all of your questions in caps, in all caps. That way I can maybe see them. If I see them and I want to answer them, then I will answer them. If I don't see them, I won't answer them. If I see them and I don't want to answer them, I'm gonna not answer it. Next rule. If you ask the same effing question for 3 hours in a row, that's probably not gonna go well for you. A little hot. I've self-censored the word F 3 times in the last 4 minutes and 8 seconds.
Pay attention to the moderators.
And that was the last thing I was gonna say. If a mod, somebody with a blue wrench, of which we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sitting here right now, and 3 dozen more out there on the interwebs. If a mod answers your question has been answered. That's a really good way to piss us off. They know as much or more than I do. And your question has probably been answered on one of the last 300 live streams that we've done, which is why they were able to give you an answer. So their answer is as good as my answer. You should not live for the validation that comes from Bear saying your name on the internet and then answering the question. Okay? What did I miss?
Nothing, White
Who
Fox
needs
comment.
who needs punched in the face?
White Fox asked a really good question.
Oh yeah.
Never been
And
asked before.
shalom,
That was
everybody.
hilarious.
that was a good live stream. They stopped me from being able to get back to you. I don't know what that means, Diane.
We did not stop anybody who wasn't supposed to be stopped.
That's a really good point.
Who's they?
Somebody said, what about the Georgia Guidestones? They were big rocks with horse shit written on them, and now it's rubble. The end. Amateur work was still standing. It was a low-speed explosive placed improperly. Is it a message? Yeah, it's a message that somebody didn't like the Georgia Guidestones. Also, coincidentally, if I had to, if I was a betting man, I think there were 8, maybe 10 4-inch mortars left over from the 4th of July that were all duct taped together with an M80 and a timed fuse attached to that thing. Right after the 4th of July, amateur work,
This was not a coordinated effort.
this was not a coordinated effort.
No.
Yeah, there's
Not
not a global
professional.
cabal that is acting out, destroying the Georgia Guidestones. So, all caps, what are you drinking? I'm drinking iced coffee because we're on day 475 hard today, which means 71 more days before I drink whiskey. And when that day happens, probably not a good day to live stream. I'm bad at gray
Day
area.
76.
there might be a little overcorrection in the other direction.
What day of the month is that? What was it?
September 18th,
September
22.
18th.
It's a Sunday.
And what's super cool is there's 100 people on Patreon that are playing along in the home game.
Really?
Yeah, that are
That's
also
dope.
doing 75 hard. We started at 100 yesterday. There were 54 people who posted for accountability and pressure. And that's okay. If 10 of us finish, I'll be like, that's awesome. Because the thing is, it's about discipline, right? And you start over and do it over again if you need to. So, high rate of attrition, copy that. But it's cool because we're doing that on Patreon. People are posting every day, what their goals are, what they did, what their workouts were, their passion, how they spent meaningful time with the people that they love, so forth and so on. So, yeah. Bear's Beard is NIJ certified. Yeah, it is. It's ANSI Z87 certified as well. So for protective reasons, if I need to flop it up over my eyes, that works just fine. It's also level 3+ if I weave it. If I put it like a rubber band.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like
We talked
Kevlar
about rating it.
interwoven. I don't know. I mean,
You should glitter it.
Tinsel it.
glitter it. I don't know.
We should get some tinsel extensions.
My thing is, a lot of people ask questions like, man, how do you get your beard like that? I don't cut it, and then it looks like this. And other than that, I think it's borderline homosexual to ask too many questions about a man's beard.
Tracks.
So,
Gets gay really quick. Right around, do you use any product? That's right there.
yep.
Why are you gay?
Why are you
Can
gay?
I touch your beard? You have already
No.
excluded
Thou
yourself from my
shalt
list.
not touch
Yeah.
my beard.
Yeah.
So,
It's in there.
yeah, I mean, the luxurious
Tempted to
bastard
touch it
sent me
now.
some beard care stuff, and it's good stuff. But I'm not walking around asking other dudes hey, Bob, what do you put in your beard? Hey, Don, what's in your beard? Oh, is that a hint of rosemary I detect? It's
Wow.
no. It's
No, it's fish water.
yeah, exactly.
I showered.
Sweat and I think maybe sour cream. It's what's in mine?
Bear,
Sometimes
would
you have to
you?
tell him, there's a little
Yeah.
something left there from lunch.
Yeah, I found a hollow point round in my beard earlier. Not exaggerating.
That's so dope.
Yep, super cool.
Yeah, dude.
And when we were on vacation in Tennessee, full blown Cheeto in there. I was like,
Full Cheeto.
that's a crunchy Cheeto. All right.
Eat
So,
it though.
oh yeah, I did.
You had to find out if it was crunchy or not.
Legit food storage, bro.
EDC,
Somebody,
everyday Cheeto.
somebody said, "Hey Bear, should I store ammo or food since they both store indefinitely?" You need a certain amount of ammo. You need a lot of calories. You need a lot of calories.
Pound
And
for pound.
if you're storing ammo to go get calories, you're doing life wrong in general. That's murder and theft, and all those things are against the Father's commands, and they're against the teachings of Messiah. Because, newsflash, what he taught was the Father's commands.
What?
Yeah, I know. But anyway, that makes you a scumbag if you're one of those people that's going to store ammo and kits so you can go get calories. Don't do that, because now you're risking your life for Grandpa's moldy graham crackers, and that's horseshit. So, it's not an either or, it's a both.
I'm thinking if you have a beard, you can put a hollow point in a Cheeto.
Yeah, right,
That's
right there.
Ammo and food storage.
Right? And like a Band-Aid, good to go.
Medical covered. Tampon for
I've
bullet
seen you put
holes.
patches on it.
Yeah, if a patch doesn't stick to your beard, you're just playing. You don't actually have a beard.
That tracks.
If you can't do this, you don't have a beard. You're just playing. This live stream brought to you by RefugeMedical.com.
That's advertising right there.
Yeah. Somebody call the CEO.
He's selling out.
You're so commercial.
Horrible marketing.
I mean, we just posted Life 49 today on Patreon
Praise.
as well.
Yeah.
We will talk about Life 49 tomorrow on the brief as well. It's like, it's kind of like when people are like, oh, he actually does the things that he says that he does. Oh, you actually buy a pallet of water. Yeah. There's 49 people that are actually alive because we showed up to work. Imagine that. Like, we don't just say shit. Like, this is not like a one big ongoing marketing and branding scam that we're running on YouTube. Like, we live our lives and you get to see some of it, a good portion of it, and make decisions from there. So, in Mark 5, 1 through 13, why did Yeshua agree to Legion's request and not just cast them out? Is there a story or lesson behind this? What's up, Edby? I would need my Bible in front of me to answer that, and it's out on the porch.
Let me grab it.
Yeah, if you would, please. Do you make your own fertilizer? Good method if you can't get fertilizer. If you can't get fertilizer, you live in the wrong place, because fertilizer comes out the ass end of animals. So we don't make it, we have animals and they make it for us.
Yeah, brother.
What do you think about storing whiskey for trade value? I do. How's that for an answer?
Yes.
It's not the only thing I store,
Right.
but I
But
have
it
some.
is definite. Same with tobacco and
Well, and
other kinds of liquor. Like,
it's dual use as well. Thank you. Go ahead, babe. Talk to the people.
okay.
Everybody turn with me to Matthew chapter 5 while my wife is talking.
Hi, y'all.
Do
Talk
do
so
bear
loud.
stuff on the
I
camera.
don't
Yeah.
do bear
You
stuff.
tell me you're all glowy.
Perform.
What'd you do today?
I went fishing today, and me and some brothers kicked some ass, and it was super fun. And it was an awesome day out on the lake. We caught a whole cooler full of fish, so pretty stoked. But I'm also wiped because I've been up since 4 a.m. I'm also exhausted.
Best
Mark
part.
5, 1 through 13. Somebody said, hey, do you need heavy equipment? For Caleb House, we do. Please email admin at grindstoneministries.com.
It's a dozer, transfer, dump, backhoe. All of that.
Mm-hmm.
How many biscuits? Do you want more babies? We are not trying, but we're also not trying. So
You're open to the Father's will.
it's Yah's will. Yeah, it's Yah's will. And so far, it's been 6 years since our last one. So right now, it's not His will. But we're open to having more babies.
That'd be awesome.
So what's the lesson of the demons, the 2,000 demons legion in Mark chapter 5? I'm just a guy. I'm not a prophet. But there's some things that stick out to me. What did Yeshua, what did Messiah cast the demons into? A herd of pigs. So let's start with that. And why was there a herd of pigs there? how did we get 2,000 pigs in the first place? Because that's not something you do if you're keeping the commands, right? So there's more to the story going on here. And then they immediately, right, they cry out to him, and seeing Yeshua from a distance, he ran and bowed down to him, and having called out with a loud voice, said, "What have I to do with you, Yeshua, son of the Most High Elohim? Swear to Elohim not to torture me." Yeah, because every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. So, yeah, and the people were afraid of him. They asked him to leave, right? Like, you need to get out of here, because they rejected him, because it was easier to just get rid of the Son of God than it was to actually do what he told you to do. So yeah, there's a lot of lessons in there. In fact, I've read that on camera before. So if in the Mark chapter 5 video, search Bear Independent Mark 5, you'll find it. So no hog beast meat for me. Well, there you go, man. Can you speak on the issue of men with long hair in Corinthians? Yeah. That's what it says in Corinthians. Don't do that. Or do. It's up to you. A woman's long hair is her, what does it say? It's her beauty.
Glory.
It's her glory. Thank you. Right? Sounds like you guys have studied that once or twice.
A few times.
Men aren't supposed to wear women's clothes. Women aren't supposed to wear men's clothes. Men aren't supposed to look like women. Women aren't supposed to look like men. Male and female, he created them. So there's a differentiation there. It's part of what, like, Bear, why do you have a beard? A, because it grows out of my freaking face. And then here it is. B, I'm not a woman.
That's why I don't have a beard.
Praise Yah, she doesn't
Praise Yah.
have a beard. So,
Plus, you know how much we save on razors every year.
right, that's exactly right. Yeah, I am not in Dollar Shave Club, not even a little bit. So, take a hedge trimmer at this point. So, good evening, Rocklick. Yeah, that's all I'll say for Corinthians. I think it's interesting, though, how many people want to dive into Pauline doctrine without realizing Paul was a Pharisee who kept the Torah. Read the book of Acts. And if you read the 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, it's absolutely clear, crystal clear from the mouth, the pen of Shaul of Tarsus, the Apostle Paul. Yeah, the Torah is not done away with, and the man of lawlessness is the Antichrist. So, yeah. What's up, everybody? Where else do you put Cheetos and hollow points and patches? Typically, they're not all in the same place at the same time. So yeah, another special thing. But have you heard anything about Russia and Alaska? Yes, they're near to one another geographically.
That tracks.
And Alaska
There used
is
to be a land bridge.
controlled by the United
Connected.
States, and Russia doesn't like us. And
I
we
heard a
don't like
woman
them.
say she could see Russia.
There, when it
from
comes
the
to things like pews and supporting gear, do you believe that you should buy the best you can afford or just buy budget stuff? Thoughts on the matter? No, I don't believe you do those things. I think you should get a rifle that you can afford. I think you should buy the best rifle you can afford. And then instead of, and I'm just going to say this one time, earmuffs, kids. It's going to be a whole earmuffs, kids episode because I'm self-censoring myself too much right now. This light is giving me an epic headache. Don't strap a bunch of useless horse shit to your rifle and turn Eugene Stoner's 6.5 pound rifle into an 11 pound rifle because you want to be a cool guy because you watched a Garand Thumb video. That's bullshit. Guys, you need a sling, a way to aim the rifle, and a weapons light. That's what you need on your rifle. That's it.
Is that better?
Beautiful. Thank you. It's like right here, cooking the top of my head. So
LEDs.
That was that smell.
now, yeah, that's what that is. The other thing too is like, okay, well, yeah, in a budget rifle, your extractor is only good for 5,000 rounds versus a military specification rifle, 10 to 15,000. Cool. An extractor is $2. Get a spare parts kit. Well, the barrel will lose all its rifling. If you shoot enough rounds through your rifle that you need to swap a barrel out, which is a couple $300. You shot 30,000 rounds through your rifle, and now you need another barrel. Guys who shoot 30,000 rounds through their rifle, don't ask me questions about rifles. Okay? So get a budget rifle if that's all you can afford. If you can afford a Daniel Defense DD-MV7, get that. Noveski, if Noveski's your jam, cool, get that. There's a lot of really nice rifles out there that I wish I could afford, but I can't. And I don't care that I can't because I have some good rifles. They're not Gucci. I mean, they're covered in Krylon, but I have some good rifles that I can run. That's the thing. Okay? So you're better off buying a good rifle and going to some real training, and spending money on ammunition than you are buying a really good rifle that you don't know how to shoot. And do not hang all the tactical Barbie doll shit off of your rifle. You need a way to aim it, a way to carry it, and a white light. So.
Whining puppet butt bear.
I saw that.
Dad, what about the chainsaw attachment?
I want my AR-15 to weigh as much as an AR-10. Donnie O'Keefe just got married on the 24th of June in Colorado. I was wondering what your thoughts on Colorado as a state to live in. It's a beautiful place. Most of the people are assholes, politically speaking, and their gun laws are abhorrent, to say nothing of the fact that they're not really into sovereignty of the individual anymore. Otherwise, we'd probably live there too.
Yeah, I mean, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous state.
Yeah.
It's great vacation too.
Yeah, it's a nice
Not
place
so
to
great
visit.
to live for us.
Agreed. I'm not in a position to buy a homestead or a house yet. What's your opinion on renting outside of Tulsa and working till I can get by? Homestead, I'm 23, can't get a mortgage. What's up, Larry? But I feel called to coup him. Yeah, so at 23, you should get... You are in the prime earning years of your life. Okay, so let's start with that.
Hell yeah.
You are in the prime earning years of your life. So don't do dumb shit like buy a jacked up F-150 with big wheels and a bumper winch and go to the bar and try and impress all the girls by buying everybody drinks. Nobody cares. We all know you're a douche if you do that. Like, everybody knows you're not impressing anybody, and the girl that you bought all the free drinks for just wants the free drinks. She's not going to go home with you because of your pickup truck. Like, don't do dumb shit like that. Okay? Like, don't run up your credit card debt. Don't get in debt. Don't do all that stuff. Stack it. Stack that revenue. And right now, and see... You got to play the hand you're dealt. The fiat currency that you're earning right now is going to be worth less when it's time for you to spend it, probably, than right now while you're earning it. But you need to achieve a critical mass of fiat currency to be able to make moves. You still have to stack it up. So, earn and live in a place where you can earn, but that is not in the heart of Babylon. That's what I would recommend. Live, except the hour commute into Tulsa proper to go to work. Oh, gas is $9 a gallon. I know. What's up, Iridium Group? What's up, Snowbird? Girls at the bar will be suitably impressed because you have a job. Yeah. Are there even girls at the bar anymore? Is the bar open? I mean, COVID and the economy and $12 gasoline
And drinks are $11.
and drinks are $11. Yeah, I think you kids now have an app for that or
Yeah,
something.
they
I
have
don't
their
know.
Hookup app.
Yeah, do you like
Like,
how do you
there's no
roofie a
commitment.
girl through the app? Like, how does that work?
Did you take pictures? I don't
know. I
You
don't.
keep looking at me, bro, and that's like not even.
You're
close to my scene.
you are way
He's like,
closer in
"No,
age to this than I am.
Oh.
So
Retired from bars a while ago.
Yeah.
just ordered the mini stop and can't wait to get it. Thank you, Jensen.
Yeah, like right
It's
after
awesome.
21. That was done.
My pig learned a new trick. I can't eat her now. Yep. Couldn't eat her to begin with.
I'm glad you know that though. That's awesome.
The bar where a $25 fifth can cost you $300. Exactly.
Pick up girls at Target. Don't do that.
Hey Lisa, I inherited a 9mm rifle. What's your thoughts on it? I need more info than that, Lisa. If it's a Marlin camp model 9mm, those are super cool. They're like the original pistol caliber carbines. Super cool. I have an entire video on pistol caliber carbines for SHTF on Patreon. Yeah, thank you, Tavar7. Yes, I'm not condoning the roofing of anybody, unless we're doing a snatch and grab, in which case it wouldn't be a roofie, it'd be a vial of ketamine to the neck.
Yeah,
But that's
Met TC, bro.
Met TC, right? No roofing, comma Met TC. 9mm rifles. Well, you tell them about your 9mm rifle.
Oh, me.
Yeah, the wall.
I thought you were talking to Sub K 2000, right? No.
Keltec
Keltec.
2000.
There you go. I don't know the things. I just point and click. But I love my gun. It's collapsible, like it folds on top of itself. It's very easy to shoot. I like the sights on it. It's easy for me to line up. What else? It doesn't get too hot. It's lightweight enough for me to like sustainably hold. What else?
It's cheap.
It's cheap.
Takes Glock
I didn't buy
mags.
it though, so I wouldn't know.
Costs less than the Glock does.
Oh, that's good.
Takes Glock mags. So
I should get one for like each of the back seats, so I could like
There you go.
grab either way.
She's like, buy
Yeah.
me another.
so so here's the deal. Somebody said 9mm rifle. Bob, we had a baby. It's a boy. Bob, we had a baby. It's a boy. That's a great last name right there. Better off getting karate lessons. Comma. Yeah. I don't love 9. I think pistol caliber carbines are stupid AF. Me personally. Because they weigh as much now, especially in the AR-9 platform, they weigh as much as an AR-15. They're direct blowback, and so you don't have any less recoil, and you have an underpowered round when compared to a 5.56 round. Okay, 1,000 foot-pounds of energy minimum out of 55 grain 5.56. Minimum, right? So why would I want to do that with 9mm? And a lot of guys say, well, I got it for my wife because it's lighter and it's softer shooting. No, it's not. They weigh the same amount, and it's not a locked breech. It's a direct blowback, so there's as much or more recoil than the locking breech on an AR-15. And they're expensive. So I don't love them for that. Comma, I love the fact that my wife loves hers because I know where hers is, and I know that she can shoot it, and she knows where it is. And I would rather her have that so that she can shoot bad guys in the face with it if needed than to not have it. So,
True.
And all pistol rounds are underpowered. All of them are underpowered, including these, which I get from freedommunitions.com. And this is their 147 grain jacketed hollow point, 9mm. And I buy these. They don't give these to me. Nobody needs anybody to pimp ammo for them right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's not.
No.
So I spend money on these, and they work really well on soft targets. Out of a 4-inch barrel, they're going to work even better out of a 16-inch barrel. But none of them will work as good as Full Metal Jacket 55 grain out of a 16-inch barrel. That being said, the Marlin 9mm camp rifle, cool rifle. So I also got a bolt action 12 gauge. Yeah, those are some older guns. Lisa, I bet you they are. I bet you it's a Marlin. You should check it out. Hello from hot ass Texas. Ronnie, you keep your hot ass to yourself, all right? There's a tour for that. We need to buy boots. What's your recommendation for men's and women's snake resistance? I run the Rocky brand snake proof boots. And I love them so much. I have a pair on the porch right now. My son has a pair, and I have 2 more pairs unopened in a box for when the world ends.
And I have no pairs because apparently he wants me to get bed and buy.
Don't even start that shit. All the time, I'm like, you need to plus up on that. I was just telling you,
No,
shoes. We
yeah.
got to get more
We
shoes.
do shoes. I just can't do
Okay, so I should say
snake
boots. Yeah, because I don't do shoes. I have 1 pair of shoes and a dozen pairs of boots. I don't do shoes. 308 beats 5.56, said Danny Green. It does, but can you shoot the damn 308 rifle? And also, how about we're going to go rehearse actions on the objective 12 times, and then we're going to do a 12-mile rush into that with a linear danger area crossing, which happens to be a riverine crossing, and now we're going to get your big ass soaking wet in the river going across that. And by the way, all of your ammo sucks because it's not military grade. Now effing primers won't fire. And we get there and you and your M14 14-pound battle rifle that you can't mount an optic on gets up on the objective, and we're all lined up and we're ready to go, and you're a useless sack of shit with your 308 and you can't hit, and maybe the last time you shot it was from the prone or from the bench where you were able to get a good group at 100 yards with it, but now we're at 300 yards and the grass is 2 foot tall and you can't lay down prone and there's no concrete table for you to sit at. Oofta! Met TC. Met TC. If you don't know what Met TC is, do the research. Met TC. Okay? You can't make generic statements like that on the internet. 308's better than 5.56. Oh yeah, tell it to the U.S. Army.
Right.
The Marine Corps. And all the thousands, tens of thousands of little brown people have been killed with 5.56 all over the globe.
And all of the non-brown people that have been killed with 7.62.
Yeah, check that out.
Yeah.
Interesting.
If we're going to compare rounds, it'd probably be those two versus 308.
There is no better than. There's what matters. What works. If you have, honestly, you have a 308 battle rifle, or a 308 whatever. It's 308 sniper rifle, 308 AR-10, set up with a 1-day. I don't care. I don't care what it is. That's exactly right, Brandon Sweeney. Brandon knows, he was out in North Dakota with us. Your 308 battle rifle of choice and my 5.56 battle rifle of choice, and we're sitting 300 yards out shooting at each other, I don't care how powerful your round is if you can't hit me. And you shouldn't care how underpowered, air quote, my round is as I'm shooting you in the face with it repeatedly over and over and over again. I can handle 308 all day. Awesome. Danny Green's going to start a channel where he's loaded down with 10, 20 round 308 magazines and a minimum of a gallon of water and a med kit and a pistol and a couple of reloads and a compass and a knife and a fire kit and a mess kit and 3 days worth of rations and some fresh socks and a poncho liner. And he's going to go on a 20-mile foot movement, and then he's going to engage targets from 100 meters to 500 meters. They're all going to be hits. Danny Green, you email that video to admin@bearindependent.com when you do that, and I'll be sure to leave a comment on it, all right?
Forgot it was on.
Oh, I thought you sneezed.
What's up, Palmetto? Just started talks on a place in northeastern Oklahoma, less than 3 miles from Brother Alex. Send up that email for me to help it happen. Roger that, brother. Got you. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I have 308 rifles. Several. I like them. But I'm not emotionally attached to them. Told y'all it's going to be one of those nights. My reproductive organ is going to be the same size regardless of what rifle I'm carrying. Okay? Everybody tracking? So.
Compensation.
Right. The best weapon is the loaded one in your hand when you need it. Nunchucks are better than throwing stars. Somebody's getting on my level here. Sicko McNasty.
I like that name.
7.62 by 5.4.
AK all day. Guys, how about the 50 cal? 128 pounds on a tripod.
Yeah.
Mod dudes. Let's just carry a 50 cal.
Yeah.
It's got a better effective range, higher ballistic coefficient,
There we go.
better sectional density. It's killed lots and lots of people. It's military grade.
Can
It's
hit with
fully
that all day
automatic.
long.
Let's stop
just
there. Let's get an anti-tank going.
I don't know about y'all, but I think I can get through it with my 22 rifle.
Oh, perfect.
Where
Yeah.
we are, that makes a lot of sense.
You could hit with it all day long, huh?
All day, every
I'm
day.
gonna run airsoft
Yeah.
from now on.
Running airsoft. That's hilarious.
Let's easy howitzers.
My daily driver is an A10, so 30 millimeter depleted uranium rounds. So no biggie, right?
Tracks.
The whole thing is it's just a dick measuring contest. I don't care what you use as long as you can hit with it. Thank you, Kestrel. I don't care what you use as long as you can hit with it. Ask your wife. Does she care what you use as long as you can hit with it? Right?
No.
Yep. Just finished another P80. What's up, I simp for guns? What's your technique for keeping grub worms out of your potato garden? Joke's on you, we didn't plant one. No potato grubs to worry about. Angela Purvis. I saw that name in there.
I don't know.
Right there. My daughter's boyfriend has been an avid bow hunter his whole life. Excited to learn something new I know zero about. Don't stick the pointy thing in you.
Archery's fun. Yeah. Archery's a lot of fun. It
What's
makes
up, Andrew
hunting,
Barnes?
like more of a challenge.
It does. What other questions we got? Hello, Heather. 300 win mag is better than 308. I'm gonna ban everybody and shut this down. No, you're
Palmetto
too.
paratrooper.
Yeah, I saw that. My wife's getting tired of me hitting. Is that what he
Yep,
said?
I guess 6 kids is a lot.
That is a lot. You wouldn't know anything about that.
No, right.
Dan-o! Feed the flock shepherd. I have $80 total. Feed the flock. All glory to him. Melchizedek, Yeshua, Messiah, the foundation, the lamb, his blood. Thank you, Dan-o. Appreciate that very much. Thank you. Bob!
What? What's up? Sorry, I was reading.
How do you feel about 5.7/28 for home defense versus 9mm? I think 5.7 by 28 is highly overrated because you as a civilian can't buy the good rounds that make that round effective.
Doesn't that look like a familiar?
So
Look familiar?
you basically 22 Magnum. The civilian ammunition you can get for 5.7 by 28 is basically 22 Magnum. So I would 9mm cost less, and frankly if we're going with context here of killing bad guys, has killed a lot more bad guys than 5.7 by 28.
Same.
So, hey man, if asking is receiving, I'll take an M61 Vulcan for my perimeter defense. I like that. That's a good idea. Can we get more pallet live streams? You just hang in there, buddy. That's right, Glock 16 Shalom. All right.
We could do your brief over like one of those like, slow mo of like a plant growing or like sped up. Like just be your brief.
I think that'd be interesting. I'd watch that.
I would.
Talk straight for 2 weeks.
Hold on. Hendrickson Homestead. My TQs are not approved, apparently. Recon Medical. Should I throw them away or okay as secondaries? All right. So we got to have a conversation here. No tourniquets are approved.
Get a drink.
Okay? Tourniquets are recommended.
We know where this is going.
Hold on. Let me adjust this since my wife is
Remove myself for about
She doesn't want to hear the
We're getting
drama.
liquor.
So this is important to understand. No tourniquets are approved. They're only recommended. The Committee on Tactical Combat Casualty Care makes recommendations. They do not approve. Okay, so there's approved tourniquets and unapproved tourniquets. We use in our kits approved COTC, Committee on TCCC certified tourniquets. That being said, I personally own a metric F-ton of Recon tourniquets. The reason you can't get Recon medical tourniquets anymore, well, I have to be careful how much I can say on camera, but I don't know if you've noticed, turn your ears on and listen for metaphors now, okay? All right, Bear. The reason you can't get them is very similar to the reason why right now you see a lot of Gen 3 Glock clones on the market, like the PSA Dagger and the Stoger M9 or whatever horseshit they named it, okay? Why did that happen? Because about 22 years ago, the patents on the Gen 3 Glocks expired. The 2 years ago, the 20-year patent expired. So when the patent was up, people started making Gen 3 Glocks. Glock's not super happy about that.
Yep.
Because for every Palmetto Dagger somebody buys, it's a Glock that Glock doesn't get to sell. And so Glock will point to their history of service and their track record and their quality control. Tracking? Is everybody tracking here? Okay. So, Recon medical tourniquets. Here's one from Bob. Bob's director of operations at our company. We sell cats.
Yeah.
We can get cat tourniquets whether anybody else in the world can or not. And this is what you're carrying around.
Yep.
This also went through the Essential Responder class in Waco with you. And you see right there, it says Recon on it. Right there. These things work. And I'm on record as saying, even before I owned a medical company, they're the only tourniquet other than the cat of this style, the legitimate Gen 7 cat tourniquet, that I would recommend. Now, since then, SOF, Special Operations Force Tourniquet, the SOF T, they made it way better. And it is also Committee on TCCC recommended. But these things work. This is a Recon. The issue with these, so that everybody's tracking, the real issue with these is that right here, where this Velcro is to secure the time tab, the adhesive that holds this Velcro to this plastic isn't great. It's not terrible, but it isn't great. So, this is a Recon tourniquet. It says Recon on the back plate right there, like so, and they work. The problem is this company, due to, how shall I say this, unforeseen market forces,
Yes.
no
That is
longer
hilarious.
exists.
That is hilarious.
So that sucks shit for people like us, because these Gen 7 cat tourniquet are becoming prohibitive to source. Now, this is, the Recon is extinct. This one's almost extinct because of supply chain issues.
Yep.
This is the best tourniquet there is for self-aid. Period. The end. Bar none. The Gen 7 cat tourniquet. It doesn't matter what kind of toilet paper you like if there's none in the store to buy.
Yep.
Doesn't matter how much the toilet paper costs if there's none in the store to buy.
Yeah, you were teasing when if you save a life, you should be like, can you not cut that?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
could
gonna wash it with bleach and give it back to me, please.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But for real, like, it's part of why I tell you all when I tell you, and I always tell the patrons first. You know, we do stock alerts on stuff on Patreon, not because I'm trying to sham wow people into buying first aid kits, but because they paid their $5 a month. They should have first dibs when stuff comes back in stock, right? So I always tell the patrons first when stuff comes back in stock. But he just gave us a super chat. Is he out of line now?
He used the F word like 3 times in that.
Oh, no F words, bro.
Yeah.
No F words. So, if I tell you guys something's in stock, go get it. That's it. What do we use if they are gone? Well, you get them now before they're gone, and then you understand how to take a triangle bandage and a stick and turn it into a tourniquet. And see, that was back in the day. Operators, legit operators, were issued 2 cravats, 2 triangle bandages, and the teaching was, I mean, I'm talking like the beginning of the GWAT, the Global War on Terror. 2 cravats. Hey, bad shit happens. Wrap this around tie it around the wound once with an overhand knot, find a stick, double knot it, and then turn the stick. I don't know if you've been to the Middle East. Not always a bunch of sticks laying around.
Yep.
Kind of a problem. Where are we going to get a stick from? You know, like, it's a fucking desert. There's no trees for the stick. So that's why windlass tourniquets have the stick built in. What a concept. This is basically just a take on the old cravat trick. So if you plan to have a small stick with you and a couple of triangle bandages, can you make a windlass tourniquet? Yes, you can. The thing is, you can't make a windlass tourniquet out of a cravat and a stick nearly as fast as you can apply a cat tourniquet. And that's on somebody else, where you're rendering aid onto somebody else. Doing it on yourself, forget it. Prepper rule number 1, don't be in a desert. Yeah, that's a good word.
That actually is.
I don't know why everybody's talking about killing bears with 10 millimeter. This bear doesn't take very kindly to that. So don't do that.
He doesn't do that.
And a makeshift is actually going to stay on until you get second care help.
Yeah, it's not. There's a reason these things exist.
One of our
So-
lives saved was just that.
My mother-in-law is texting my wife wanting to know why we're not on the porch. Because it's 102 degrees outside, Ma. That's why. So there are ways. I mean, wilderness medicine is a thing. Like, if all we have is a t-shirt, yeah, I can slow and or stop the blood from pretty much any injury that I could use a tourniquet or a pressure bandage on with a t-shirt. It's not nearly as effective as having pressure bandages, wound packing gauze, and tourniquets. Also, I want to keep we all want me to keep my shirt on. Okay? So, what other questions we got?
Side note, there's a lot of other tourniquets that are still, quote unquote recommended by the Committee on TCCC,
Mm-hmm.
and they work.
Mm-hmm.
You have to train with them.
We've tested a lot of them.
We test,
Oh, yeah.
we test a shit. You this week sat and pulled on one for I think 40 minutes.
Yeah, during the executive meeting. What was that one called?
That is a TMT tourniquet.
TMT. Yep, that's what I thought.
Which we gave to one of our medics, and he broke in 12 seconds.
Yep. And then during the executive meeting, I basically took it and was just stretching it constantly the whole time, taking the buckle apart. And what I don't like about that one was I got it on tight the first time I put it on, and I still had a pulse.
Yep.
Still had a radial pulse, and I was like, I don't know. And we put on tourniquets all the time. And so if you don't put a tourniquet on all the time, you're probably not going to do it right with that tourniquet. Because I had it freaking tight.
I don't think there's a tourniquet on the market that everyone on our team couldn't put on.
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah, like realistically, like you couldn't, even if they hadn't seen it, they understand the idea of tourniquets so well that they could be like, okay, and tighten, and there's going to be some way to actually tighten and cut off blood flow.
Yep.
But you should train.
I don't think it's the lizard men gray mouse that the Dutch farmers are fighting. I don't know if they're actual lizards.
They may look like this.
I mean, maybe. How many Bibles in your community survival kit? Well, we mentioned we buy things by the pallet.
Yeah, it depends where we're at.
Yep. I have enough Bibles for everybody in camp at my house right now.
I think I have
And
the same.
that's
at my
not an
house.
exaggeration.
I don't know if I've got
I just
camp, but I
found
got like
8.
20.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's say you put us all together and it's a palette. And it's
Oh.
not
Easy.
a palette of unread ones. It's a palette of red ones.
Yeah,
not the
not
ones in
including the
box.
ones still in
Not the ones still in the box.
Right. Yeah, and you're gonna probably get close to almost every translation, I would assume.
That would be a Shabbat. Everybody bring all your translations.
Well, we'd blow the tires out of our trucks.
Yeah.
How much training do you need before taking the first responder course? So it's responder 1 and no training. That's up to you. You don't need any prerequisites to come take responder 1. Drink of choice tonight is iced coffee. Dudley has 10 Bibles in his van. I believe it. Let's see. There were some other questions I saw here. More water pallet talks, please. You got it. Tomorrow's Friday. We'll do a bridge tomorrow morning. You guys can look at the pallet of water again.
So I said, how do you transition
That's
your
what I
kids
was.
to
MD. I was
Torah?
just getting
Yeah.
there. You live your damn life
Yeah.
and you tell them the truth. That's how you do it. And they're like,
Did it
how
different
come we're
last
doing
year."
it this way when last year? Because we didn't know and we were wrong, and now we're going to do our best to be right. The end.
What a testimony for the kids,
Yeah.
too. Like, if mom and dad can be wrong, like, and then can admit that they're
And,
wrong,
and get their poop in a group.
and get their poop in a group, like, you'll be teaching your children so much about turning towards what is right, regardless of what you've done, and repenting, right? Like, what a lesson on repentance that could be, to show your children, like, hey, we mess up, like, repent, let's do the right things, and let's chase after him, And we talked about this at the end of last live stream. If you train your kids up in the way that they shall go, they will never know the trauma of living in Babylon, and never know the complete burden of just
Yep.
covering yourself in that sin, which is a huge thing. You have to unlearn a lot of things. You might not have to do that to your kid. That's a huge deal.
Agreed. Love from the UK. What's up, Eric? I'm all about the truth. Thank you, Diane. Us too. And that's the thing. No one has a monopoly on the truth except Yeshua, and he has not come back yet. So when he does, I feel like there's gonna be like a sit rep. He'll be like, all right, boys, here's what's up. You got A+ for zeal, D- for execution, but it's all right. I love you anyway. So.
For proof and instruction.
Yeah.
Somebody had a good question about the store. What is the average turnaround on resupplying when we show kits out of stock?
That sounds like something you should answer.
Well, no, it's Bob
all
now.
right.
Not my job anymore.
New department. Hold on.
What was the question?
What's the average turnaround time on resupplying kits when they're out of stock?
It fluctuates based on supply chain, but usually every week to every other week, we'll get kits back in stock. Bare Facts are on probably like a 2.5-3 week rotation right now, which is our main kit. So here's the thing. We did this thing where we were able to position ourselves as a company in a mindset of strength versus a mindset of servitude. We have really good relationships and we have a big inventory. So a lot of times we're waiting on bags because we have handmade, hand-sewn bags that are not sewn by Chinese slaves, but are sewn by Cody slaves. Cody slaves. And like that's a reality. So it's not that we don't have tourniquets, it's that we need a really good bag to put the tourniquets in because we don't want your shit to fall apart.
Somebody did say that earlier. They said that another channel said that they can't sell kits right now because they don't have tourniquets because there's none left on the market. And I was like, because we bought them all.
Yeah.
We bought them all. And like, we're like, oh man, there's not a lot of cats left on the market. Better now find whatever our next pivot is and already have those relationships established because accidents aren't going to stop happening. People aren't going to stop getting hurt and lives aren't going to stop needing saved by these tools. And so we're not buying for Q3, which we just started. We're buying for Q4, right? Yep. Which is a very different mindset than a lot of companies have. So praise Yah that we're able to be in that. But these just went in, gosh, what was it, 2 days ago?
Yep.
The ARCs.
The red.
Yesterday morning.
That's the only.
Yesterday morning we announced that we had those.
And this is the only red that's like left right now.
On the earth.
And it's his. It's not yours. You can't buy this. But the reality is like these things fly. Like we had, I think 40 or 50 of these yesterday morning and they're gone. So if you're thinking, maybe I should buy one of those, like there's an email button on there, hit it. And then when it emails you, take 30 seconds and pivot, buy what you need to buy because the market is depleting. Like you should feel pressure. This isn't me pressure selling you, but it's the whole supply chain. If everything was fine, I wouldn't be saying this. It'd be like, buy it when you can, bro. But it might not be when you can.
Well, we're doing the same thing on our end. Like,
oh yeah.
Oh, you have a pallet of cats? I want it now.
Right.
Where do I?
Where do I send
Where does
the
the
money?
duffel bag of cash go? I want it now.
Yeah, I'm calling not like a guy who sells chest seals. I'm calling the guy who makes the chest seals. And I'm like, where are the pallet of chest seals at?
Yeah.
And he's like, they're on a ship. I'm like, that won't work. They need to be on a truck in my front parking lot. And he's like, I'm sorry, Bob. No, Rick's a great dude.
Yeah. So you should point out that the red is out of stock, but all the other colors are in stock on that.
Yeah, so you've got your Ranger, you've got Coyote, you've got Black, and then you've got OD, and you've got Multicam that are in stock right now. And this is a super rad kit. Like this is gonna cover all your trauma aid.
That thing rocks. Should I do the thing since last time they had to look at a pallet of water?
Yeah, they had. Well, I think it played into their imagination.
Yeah, I told
That's a
somebody.
great description.
I told somebody to visualize. It was like just imagine, and not that gay ass Beatles song. All right.
Somebody doesn't understand business. Somebody doesn't understand business. Why don't you wait until you have 100 of units to sell rather than 40 or 50 at a time? We're talking about 40 or 50 of each color.
Yeah.
And besides that, what
Why would you
difference would it
wait?
make if I had
Yeah.
100?
They're still
Yeah.
gonna sell
If
out.
I
the
have
same.
99 of them, I'm like, no, we can't put it on. We can't open it up to the market. We're short one. What's the lead time on that one? It's going to be 5 weeks. Okay, I guess I'll tie up all of this money on this inventory during a huge time of scarcity to all the dollars being devalued to wait 5 weeks to get one kit so that we can then. No, that's not
I
how.
understand when something hits the door, like receiving is like, hey, the Sam Splints came in. Brittany is putting it in the computer, and you guys are getting emailed before the box is open.
Yeah.
So
Like, it's insane.
with that, the tools that you're wanting to delay so that you have a better chance of buying, due to your inadequacy to be able to buy something, could potentially cause someone to lose their life.
Yep.
This isn't a Sharpie. This isn't a freaking doll. This is a tool that's going to be used to save somebody's life. And we're not going to delay something because you're not great at buying stuff online so that someone could potentially die. That's just the reality of that situation, right? I'd put them in at 1. Like, oh, we have
Right.
1 available.
We've done
Put
that.
it in.
Yep.
Like, right now.
Yep.
We did it today.
Yep.
That one person who got that 100 people who got that email. Oh yeah.
Somebody said, does Bob ever ask the suppliers, do you know who you're dealing with? What's up, Tommy? No. They know. Shalom, Rex. So, listen, it's an OODA loop thing, right? It's like adjust your perspective, because we're not a giant, massive company, but we're not a little company anymore either. And so, we're known, like, especially on the supply side, people are like, oh, y'all are with Refuge. Like, yeah, we're with Refuge. Somebody asked earlier, hey, what are your margins on your kits? First of all, business 101, none of your effing business. But second of all, not very high. Not very high. By the time 20 families have eaten off of this kit, 20. There's not a whole lot left. And I've said it before, and I mean it. I think we've already established that in this live stream. If I say it, I mean it. I don't get a salary from this company. Okay? I don't get a salary from this company. Let's get a couple of witnesses here. You see the payroll each week. Do I draw a salary from Refuge?
So you may think, like, because he's the CEO of Refuge Medical that he's getting like 50 grand a month, and like that is a joke. Like that's like a running joke. When you offered me the position, I said, what do you want for Refuge Medical? You said, and I quote, I'd really love to get paid. And I was like, damn, that shit checks out. So yeah, no, as the dude who literally looks at the payroll, that's not a thing.
Yeah. So, and also, we and everybody else in the world has gone from just-in-time inventory to just-in-case inventory. What we have in inventory is what probably a lot of smaller medical first aid kit companies, our current inventory valuation is probably exceeds the yearly sales of a lot of smaller companies.
100%.
And we turn that inventory over every 7 to 10 days.
Yep.
Because y'all's badass,
Praise him.
and we just do our best to serve him to the best of our ability. So, and as a result, there's 49 people still alive because we showed up to work.
Praise Yah.
So, super cool. This is the ARC. You guys know where to get it. There's the red's not in stock, but everything else is in stock. One of their more classes in Georgia. There's a website for that, refugetraining.com. And this is the BCK, or the Bleeding Control Kit, and this one was riding around on a 4-wheeler, but it was vacuum sealed. No, it's not, but I just want to show you what's in it real quick. We have a handful of these left. They're 57 doll hairs. And it starts with a Gen 7 cat tourniquet, a 6-inch North American Rescue emergency trauma dressing. A lot of people were like, yeah, those are good kits, but they should really have Israeli bandages in them.
You don't know.
This is like Remember when Dad had the radio phone in the car before cell phones? Remember the radio phone? And then like the first flip phone came out, and like the Israeli wound dressing is the radio phone, and these are the new iPhone 13. Okay, same concept, same thing, pressure bandage. Set of shears are in here as well. 2 pairs of gloves, because what's the rule, Bear Nation? If it's wet and not yours, don't touch it. Okay? No, I'm talking about before the brick, Jimmy Carr, but that's a good word right there. You got a Sharpie. The primary reason we have the Sharpie, there's 2. One is to write the time on the tourniquet, although we don't necessarily need to write the time on the tourniquet, but it's good to write the time on the tourniquet. The primary reason we have the tourniquet is for if we apply the space blanket to the casualty for the H in March algorithm, which is hypothermia, we take the Sharpie and we put a T on their forehead, because now they're covered up. And during running through our March algorithm, when we get back to circulation, where we have an onus to recheck the casualty, if people don't know that there's a tourniquet on there, that tourniquet could be loosening or come off completely, and the casualty could bleed out and die because we didn't recheck the tourniquet. So we put a T on their forehead with the Sharpie so that we know, hey, there's a tourniquet on this person, even though they're covered up with the burrito blanket. And you get 2 packages of wound packing gauze, and it's $57. And they'll be gone in an hour now, since I just told you that. So if you want one, like, I would literally go get it right now.
There was 42 in stock.
Yeah, there were several hundred yesterday.
Yeah, we got 200, and yesterday there was 42 when I left.
And they'll be gone by the end of this live stream. Promise you. So, and that's like, we don't make this shit up. And we're all blessed in that we've all done a lot of businessing in other industries. And now we get to bring that business acumen to this in a way that literally saves people's lives, while doing our best to serve the Father and create a good living witness and running a righteous company. So there you go. There's your ShamWow portion of the show. Already ordered on today. Thank you, CB. I bought 3 of them. Kevin Milton. Appreciate that. Turning Point checkout. Yep. Ordering now. This will be my 4th kit. What's up, Jason in Virginia? What's going on?
3 have just sold in the past minute and a half, realistically.
Okay.
Just so.
Is this the Rambo wannabe channel? I don't know. Your name is Donut, asshole. Oh, now I'm thinking about apple fritters.
I do the same thing happened in my head.
Maple bar all the way.
Oh, bro.
I'll fill you in.
Yeah.
That's a
whole-
story for apple fritters.
This ogre is like an onion, bro. There are layers.
Nice.
Yeah.
The
Now
text
I'm really
that Flo
curious.
sent, I was like, why is there a trunk? He's like, that's a chest.
Ram bro. There you go, Nick Rod. I like that.
It's
Good
the
morning
Ram
from
bro.
Australia. Awesome. Good morning. Oh, man.
This is the Ram Bro channel? It is.
James, I answered your question at the... Okay.
What are you responding? Notebook and a pen. Okay.
What do I need for the responder? A notebook and a pen. Yep. We give you the training kit when you come to class, and you keep it. It's yours. You take it home with you. And I'll tell you this. If you do the essential responder, which is responder 1, responder 2, responder 3 over the course of 2 days, your kit, it'll still be serviceable. Your tourniquet will still work, but you will have destroyed everything else in that kit.
Facts.
But you will know how to use an effing kit when bad stuff happens. Isn't that right, sweetheart?
So right.
Yep.
Save lives.
So that James Reyes guy, I think, has asked 3 times during
always
this live
answered.
stream the same question. So he just got
I'm
banned.
pretty sure he has the
Go back and
question
watch the
last
beginning.
live stream.
Yeah. How many TQs is enough? Vehicle kits and on person. So that's a great question that doesn't have a perfect answer other than to say it depends. Met TC. What are you doing? So here's the deal. I'll tell you what I do, and then you can maybe scale up or scale down from there. I probably wouldn't suggest scaling up from where I'm at, but maybe meet it or scale down from there, okay? So on my person, I have a minimum of 1 windlass tourniquet on me at a minimum, always, right? So it's either a soft T tourniquet in the back pocket or a cat tourniquet in the cami pocket of my pants. If I'm wearing my camis, which means I have the potential to do some hood rat shit, I have a pocket kit in my left pocket and 2 cats in my right pocket, because you don't get to wear the medic pouch if you don't have enough shit to take care of yourself, let alone anybody else, okay? So I carry that, and if we're doing hood rat stuff, I have a kit on my war belt, and I have a kit on my plate carrier, and I have a kit in my pocket, and then I also have my brain and my hands, which, believe it or not, your brain and your hands, followed closely by your mouth, are the 3 most important things you can use when rendering aid. Okay?
Yeah.
Everything else is like tools in a toolkit. That's all it is. But you can buy every badass Knipex and Klein tools, electrical tool, and the best set of bags to hang them on. And the first time you open that panel, you don't know what you're looking at, you're gonna get yourself killed. Right? So it's your brain and your hands and your mouth is where it starts, because other than that, you're just carrying dead weight. But generally speaking, if I'm wearing blue jeans and my nice boots going to town, I have a soft tee in my back pocket, a gun on my hip, and at least 1 reload. Okay. In my truck, on my sun visors, I have an orange tourniquet on either visor. 2 reasons for that. Learned that from a law enforcement brother of ours. The first reason is, if I need that tourniquet and I'm outside the vehicle and there's a stander by, I can say, go to my truck and get the orange thing off of the visor, not the Cat Gen 7 windlass tourniquet. They don't know what that is. They don't know. But I say, go get the orange thing off the visor, they can get that, okay? The next is, if I need it for myself in a wreck, it's above the dashboard height. A lot of times in car wrecks, if there's an intrusion of the vehicle where the firewall and engine compartment gets pushed in, or the side panel, the door gets pushed in, that's at or below the dash level of the vehicle. And so if your first aid kits are mounted lower than that, you may not be able to access them. And so by having tourniquets above that, whether it's on the back of your headrest of your vehicle, like this thing, the ARC, comes with the straps on the back of it to mount it to your headrest, or the SOB kit, Bearfax. People mount the bare minimums to the oh shit handles inside their trucks, like however, whatever, right? And then orange tourniquets on the visors. If it's above the dashboard level, if you're in a bad wreck, your medical gear is still where you can get at it, and it's not impinged below you. And then I have, depending on where I'm going, what I'm doing, I have I would call it a comprehensive boo-boo kit. It's the size of it's a kit that I built, a comprehensive boo-boo kit. It's the size of an adventure bag that's basically gauze, tape, gloves, disinfectant, OTC meds. I have a level 2 EMT bag in the front of the vehicle, and then I have either a mini stomp or a full-blown stomp. If we go on deployments, I take a stomp bag. Driving around doing what we usually do, I've got a mini stomp with me. And the mini stomp is half of a hospital on your back. The stomp bag is a hospital on your back. So that's what I carry, and I own a medical kit company. If you're carrying more than that, you are super cool, but probably not necessary. But I would say at a minimum in a vehicle, you need a purpose-built kit in the vehicle and a couple of extra tourniquets, and then on your person at least 1. And if you're doing combat, simulated combat, militia type stuff, training in the woods, whatever that is, you need a primary and a secondary tourniquet. I tell people all the time, if you're using our kits for a military type application, you need a standalone tourniquet that you can get to with either hand. I usually run one right here on the strap of my plate carrier or my chest rig, because I can get to it with either hand. It's right here because you may not have a hand. Yep. Several of the lives have been saved from Refuge Medical. The person was missing this hand. In fact, 3 of the most recent ones, they were missing one or both hands. Yeah. So you need to be able to get to it with either hand. And so if you're doing combat type stuff, you need one mounted. A lot of guys will run it just straight center line on their plate carrier right here where you can get to it. Doesn't matter, just either hand. And then a secondary tourniquet inside of your kit, like the Bearfac has it inside of the kit. Do you ever worry about making yourself a target carrying all that expensive gear? I would say bring it, asshole.
You're a target because you're you.
It's impossible for me to not be a target.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
You
mean.
screamed.
I scream, you gotta be dumb to even think about
True.
Yeah.
it.
Skin that smoke wagon.
Right?
Baby, let's go.
And also, and it's not out of paranoia, it's just the way that we roll. We very rarely go places by ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, very rarely.
You should have told us to go out
Convoy.
2x2.
Amen.
Like,
Everywhere.
Amen.
That's a
Sometimes
thing.
like 30.
Yeah, take backup. Especially
we stop at Walmart and people are like, "Who are you people?"
Right.
Why do you all matter?
That was not planned. We just all buy the same pants and t-shirts from the same 3 companies.
Why do they all wear Marpads?
But as far as, am I worried about making
There's
a
a big
target
black
out of
guy.
myself? No. And here's the thing. At some point, y'all's gonna say, "Hey, it's time for you to come home." Okay, cool. Roger that. I don't get to pick that day. I'm also not inviting that day. But when that day comes, that day comes. I fear nothing but y'all. Not worried about it. And if somebody wants to be that dumb, cool. How did you get your company off the ground? Great question, Kevin. I see y'all back and forth and over there.
Oh no, I got mom and Ann. She
Uh-huh.
texted me. I called him Puffy.
Me?
No, my mom and my sister.
Oh, why are they puffy?
No, I tried to say Purdy, but
Oh.
it auto-corrected to Puffy, and then I almost peed myself because I was laughing so hard. And yeah,
Well, yeah, 'cause
She's doing her own thing over there.
Yeah.
I'm in my own.
Purdy's not really a word.
It
but-
is
Okay.
when you're from the south.
Tell it to the iPhone.
She just did.
So,
And the iPhone
True.
responded.
fair enough. How did I get
We
the
live
company
such a
off the
weird
ground?
world.
2.5 years ago, maybe 3 now, I started building IFACs out for myself because all the IFACs were on the market I was unhappy with. Individual first aid kit being IFACs, for a military context. And, or as I affectionately like to call it, hood rat shit. And guerrilla type warfare. Okay? Hood rat shit. We're not good kits out there. So, I had an idea of what I wanted. I contacted Cody at Sojourn Gear and I said, I would like to pay you to make these bags for me so that I can set them up the way that I want them. And he was like, okay, well, that's going to cost money to prototype and this and that. And I was like, I totally understand, and I know it's custom work, and just give me a number. And so he gave me a number, and he made me six of the original Bearfac Gen Zeros. And I started showing them to some people. Hey, I made a kit. And they're like, that's a badass kit. How do I get one? And I was like, you can't? And they're like, that's horseshit, we want these. And I was like, oh, hey Cody, can you make more? I think the first run we did was what, 50?
Yeah, it wasn't much.
50 Bearfacs. The Gen 1 Bearfac was 50. And that was released on Patreon.
Not one of those.
And Brother Don has one of those. First life was ever saved with a refuge medical kit was a Gen 1 Bearfac. What are you doing over there?
I'm trying to get in the comments.
Jeez Louise, would you plug that thing up? Here, give me this.
She always has a demo.
So anyway, but all this to say, so I came out of pocket, my money, like no bank loan, no investors, no nothing, to prototype the first Bearfac. And then I sent some to an Army Ranger, a Green Beret, and an Air Force PJ. And the PJs specifically were like, these things are badass. How do we get more of these? It's like, oh, I think we're onto something here. And there were some tweaks that were made in the whole nine. Like something I hadn't thought about, my context was getting the inner pouch out of the outer pouch when it's wet. I don't tend to get absolutely sopping wet all day, every day. Well, they jump out of helicopters into the ocean, so they get wet. And so they had some recommendations on like, change this, do this, do that. And so we did. Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, we're on the Gen 3 Bear Fact now. And we just kept growing it and adding new products. And the thing is, as the company grows, your ability to manage it dwindles, right? So you got to add somebody and then add another person. You don't start a company and hire 20 people overnight and go take out $1 million loan from the bank and then pray that you make it. It's called bootstrapping. We don't owe a dime to anyone. No one. We have zero debt in our business, in our personal lives. We have zero debt. What is going on with Dano? He just gave us a super chat. Now he's getting timed out. What's happening?
No.
It's
a lot of comments.
Did Israel ever use full moon to count as a new moon? Yeah, Israel did a lot of things they weren't supposed to do. Bear, do you build or assemble pews? Not something you've spoken on much. I have an armorer's wrench. I got my first gen from NWA Prepper.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly,
Sounds
Ghost.
like you could buy it
Yeah,
first.
because it was
There was no Refuge Medical
there was no Bear Independent.
or Bear Independent. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't exist. So we started with AdventureFrontier.com. So, rhetorical question: could you be friends with an atheist? Yeah, I've been friends with atheists. One of my best friends from my former life is an avowed atheist. We're friends. You don't get to sit at my dining room table though. So define friend, because there's lines. You also don't get to hang around my kids. So, but if you want to go have a beer or something, watch a ball game at the Chili's, sure. And I can respect you and your life decisions, but I also have an obligation to my creator and to my family to not let your unrighteousness affect their righteousness. And frankly, I think you're fucking blind if you don't believe in God. But hey, you do you, boo. Because he's everywhere. Old Jewish proverb, king goes to an 8-year-old boy at a yeshiva, a Torah school. And he says, I will give you a gold coin if you can tell me where your God is. And the young boy replies, I will give you 2 gold coins if you can tell me where he is not.
Amen.
So, shalom overall living. There's my brother right there. That's the difference between a brother and a friend. You jump bullets for brothers. Friends you might catch a beer with occasionally at the Chili's.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. So,
Little Gru said, what do you do when your chickens get old and stop laying? Are those chickens good to eat at that age? So they're good to pressure cook.
thank you for bringing this back around. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
I just yelled the F word at the internet.
I know.
It's been a long day.
I've been quiet, so it's time for me to speak.
Her phone's charged. She's good to go.
Right. So yeah, they are going to be tougher because they are older. But typically, if you pressure cook that meat and put it in like a stew, casserole kind of thing, it's not as noticeable the chewiness of it.
Oh, brother.
But
That's why some are called stew chickens.
farm
Yep.
chickens tend to be chewier anyways because they get a lot more exercise than your Cornish cross, nasty, half-dead looking chickens
They-
that Tyson uses.
They also taste like chicken.
Yeah, they actually
Um,
taste like chicken instead of you needing herbs and spices to make it taste like something.
Yeah, because people are like, yeah, chicken tastes like however you flavor it. It does when you get it from the store. And
Yeah.
listen, we're egregious offenders of that as well. It's easier to go to Walmart and trade imaginary money for chicken,
Right.
for imaginary chicken, right? Like that's easy. But when you eat,
Aw.
roosters and hens that come off of your property, they actually taste like something.
Okay.
Like chicken does have a flavor. It's not just a blank canvas.
Yeah.
So-
Cornish cross are an abomination. Like, we raised them one
Once.
time,
Never again.
and seeing the growth and it was heartbreaking. And there's like literally nothing you can do because it's been bred genetically into them. But I told him, like, we're never gonna do these. Like, I don't even want to eat them. And that's part of the disconnect of people that don't understand where their food comes from. And if they saw the conditions and those birds, chances are they would not want to pick up that family pack of chicken breast.
Hey, I got a machine gun a couple answers real quick.
Okay.
So first of all, is it bad to raise and sell unclean animals as long as you don't consume them? Yes, you should not perpetuate sin for other people, and also touch not the unclean thing. So yeah, why? We just saw that in Mark chapter 5 earlier. Why was there a herd of 2,000 pigs to cast demons into in the first place? Now, like if you're gonna raise rabbits to feed your dogs, okay. You're gonna raise a hog to feed your dog, okay. But if you're gonna sell it to other people as food, knowing that you know that it's not food, no, I don't like that. Mitch Hamill said, I bought an 8-pack of tourniquets on Amazon for $55. They seem to work. Should I trust these? Absolutely not.
Can you take the windlass and break it?
So, I regularly break fake Chinese tourniquets.
It's a passion.
So here's what you need to know. This is a genuine cat tourniquet from North American Rescue. I'm going to show you how you know that here in a moment. The retail on these is a minimum of $30. Okay? They come from one place. There was one manufacturer and one supplier worldwide. Okay? So you can't get 8 for $55. That doesn't happen. Not a genuine one. So, 3 ways to tell this is a genuine cat tourniquet. The first is right here on the buckle. It says cat. I guarantee you, on yours, it doesn't say cat. Okay? Then next, it also says it on the windlass, right there, cat. It also is printed on the back of the tourniquet, right there, with the NSN number, the actual NSN number, not the fake Chinese NSN number. And then it's also on the back plate, right here, stamped into the back plate, right there. Okay? That's a genuine cat tourniquet. On a fake tourniquet, the place that they tend to break is right here on the windlass when you tighten it down. Also, worth pointing out, the inner band, the constricting band on a cat, this part right here, this is Kevlar, not nylon. It's Kevlar, okay? It won't break. On a fake one, it's nylon, and they will break. So, yeah, they're garbage. You need to throw them in the trash, because when you try to use that, because you got 8 tourniquets for the price of 2 actual tourniquets, and they break, the person whose life you're trying to save is now probably going to die. Like, I don't understand why people cheap out on life-saving gear. This has been used 19,000 times in the global war on terror. That's why it's on Gen 7 now, okay? Because they started at Gen 1 and they continuously made improvements to get it to this point now. Don't buy cheap shit that's designed to save your life, okay? What's up? You all good over there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyone wants to know how to donate to Caleb House?
Admin at grindstoneministries.com or visit grindstoneministries.com, and there's an online giving portal for donating to Caleb. What time is it? Almost 8.
8:24.
Almost 8:30. Very independent. We are stoked for the micro responder course on Tuesday. Hey, what's up, Autumn's Armory? Hey kiddo, I hope you had your earmuffs on. Barry's been saying all the bad words on this show tonight. Your dad and your mom are gonna be mad at me. They'll be like, forget that collab we're doing. He's
Nah.
yelling
It's like her mom
4-letter
goes into the
words at the
office.
Her
camera.
mom works.
Yeah, they know us.
Triple G Farms, just need to know what vehicle medical kit you recommend for coming up in a traffic accident. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the super chat. The adventure kit or the crash or the smash kits is what I would recommend. But at a minimum, a Bearfac would be really good. Bearfacs have saved a lot of lives in motor vehicle accidents. So, but the crash and the smash are designed specifically for vehicles. They were prototyped and developed by a Baja racing team in Southern California. And if it's good enough going 1,000 miles overland at up to 140 miles per hour, it's probably good enough for the minivan.
Tracks.
So, or the Jeep, or like the weekend rock crawling truck or whatever, right? So, Bear owns more than one business. Yeah, he does.
Somebody said if you don't take a salary, how do you make money? And I said he owns more than one business.
Besides that, none yet.
Yeah. I was like,
If I want to
You
dance
do.
Tuesday night at the cockpit, second stage, I'll do that.
No, you
And
don't.
get hella reviews. Love your butt.
The-
no OnlyFans for you.
The red thong and the fireman helmet beckons.
It's only farms now.
It's only
We're
farms.
taking it
Only
back. We
We
just show pictures and videos of farms.
Oh my gosh. Carrie Berry, but didn't Jesus lift the covenant so foods were open? Wouldn't that include pigs? No, he did not do that. Acts chapter 10 is about people. It's not about food. And Matthew chapter 15 is about the ritual washing of hands, not about food. So, and it's on. I feel like that was an honest question, Carrie Berry. So, I see super chats and all of that, but I also have a Bible right here, and Yah doesn't care about your super chats. So,
Oh, the super chat on her Pivot House.
okay, and that's awesome, and
We
we're
can
gonna
get
get
back to
we're
it.
gonna get there. But first, Matthew chapter 15. Matthew chapter 15.
Shoot it.
Then there came to Yeshua, who y'all call Jesus, but he's not the son of Zeus, he's the son of Elohim. Then there came to Yeshua scribes and Pharisees from Jerusalem, saying, why do your taught ones transgress the tradition of the elders? For they do not wash their hands when they eat bread. He, Yeshua, answering them, said to them, why do you also transgress the commands of Elohim because of your tradition? That's what happened verbally. Yeshua did that to them. For Elohim has commanded, saying, respect your father and your mother, and he who curses father and mother, let him be put to death. But you say, whoever says to his father or mother, whatever profit you might have received from me has been dedicated, is certainly released from respecting his father or mother. So you have nullified the commands of Elohim by your traditions. Hypocrites! Isaiah rightly prophesied about you, saying, this people draws near to me with their mouth, and respect me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain they do worship me, teaching as teachings the commands of men. And then it goes on from there, where in verse 17, where everybody takes this out of context, verse 17, do you not understand that whatever enters into the mouth goes into the stomach and is cast out into the sewer? But what comes out of the mouth comes from the heart. These defile the man. For out of the heart comes forth wicked reasonings, murders, adulteries, whorings, thefts, false witnessing, slanderers. These defile a man. But to eat with unwashed hands does not defile a man.
Oops.
Ooh. We should read shit in context, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah. For
So
sure.
that's the one argument in Matthew chapter 15. And I'm sorry, Carrie Berry, I don't mean to be worked up, but you're here, I'm here, and I am. So too bad. And then in Acts chapter 10,
My dude.
I love you so much, bro. Your passion for Yah is so dope.
appreciate
That's
you.
exactly why I came today.
Yeah.
All right, Acts chapter 10, which is where people say, but because of Peter's vision, LOF Defense Systems, thank you.
BCKs are gone.
Okay, we're out of BCKs. Yep, that's why we told you to get them. Had to use your wound care bucket a couple of weeks ago at our facility. Oh, dude, give me an after action report. Thank you so much. Praise Yah. Okay, awesome. And then How's Caleb House? Do you know of OUR? Yep, I'm super familiar with OUR. We are building Caleb House to OUR specifications. So thank you for the super chat. We'll talk about Caleb House in a minute. Acts chapter 10, where everybody says, well, Peter's vision, we can eat what Peter, take and slay and eat. We can eat whatever we want to now.
It was about some non-Jews.
Acts chapter 10. Now there was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a captain of what was called the Italian regiment, dedicated and fearing Elohim. Fearing who? And fearing Elohim with all of his household. Oh, his house was in order too. With all of his household, doing many kind deeds to the people, loving his neighbor as himself, and praying to Elohim always, loving Yah with everything that he has. The two prime directives. And he clearly saw in a vision about the 9th hour of the day a messenger of Elohim coming to him, saying to him, Cornelius! And looking intently at him and becoming afraid, he said, what is it, master? And he said to him, your prayers and your kind deeds have come up for remembrance before Elohim. Your prayers and your kind deeds. Man, that sounds like a works-based theology right there in the New Testament after the death, burial, and resurrection of Messiah. Wow. Okay, tracking. And now send men to Yafo and send to Simeon, who's called Peter, Kepha. He's staying with Simeon, a leather tanner whose house is by the sea. So, Cornelius sends 3 dudes, 3 Gentiles, to Peter, Kepha, who's a Jew, a Yehudim, who had a Jewish tradition of men, not the Torah, Jewish tradition of men that they were not supposed to associate with non-Jews. So Cornelius, this righteous man, righteous Gentile, sends 3 people from his house to Peter. So Cornelius has a vision over here from Yah. Now, Peter, verse 10, and he, Peter, became hungry and wished to eat, but while they were preparing, he fell into a trance, and he saw the heaven opened and a certain vessel like a great sheet bound at the 4 corners descending to him and let down to the earth, in which were all kinds of 4-footed beasts of the earth and wild beasts and creeping creatures and the birds of the heaven. And the voice came to him and said, rise up, Peter, slay and eat. But Peter said, not at all, master, because I have never eaten whatever is common or unclean.
So a year after Yeshua's dead, Peter is still eating clean. If Yeshua did away with the cleanliness law, wouldn't there be ham sandwiches all over?
That's a really good point. And a voice came to him again the second time and said, what Elohim has cleansed, you do not consider common. And this took place 3 times, and the vessel was taken back to heaven. And while Peter was doubting within himself about what the vision might mean, look, the men who had been sent from Cornelius, having asked for the house of Simeon, stood at the gate. Okay, so the Doctrine of Inerrancy, 1977. Let the Bible interpret the Bible. You can take that one line, what Elohim has cleansed you do not consider common, right there out of context and say, I can eat whatever the hell I want. Peter didn't know what his own vision meant. Okay? He had it.
He was there.
But while Peter was doubting within himself about what the vision might mean, look, the men who had been sent from Cornelius, having asked for the house of Simeon, stood at the gate, and calling out, they inquired whether Simeon, also known as Peter, was staying there. And as Peter was thinking about the vision, the Spirit said to him, see, 3 men seek you. But rise up, go down and go with them, not doubting at all, for I have sent them. And while Peter was doubting within himself about what the vision might mean, not doubting at all, for I have sent them. Are you seeing a connection here? So Peter went down with the men who had been sent to him from Cornelius and said, look, I am the one you seek. Why have you come? And they said, Cornelius, the captain, a righteous man. Luke 1 verse 6, blamelessly walking in the commands of Yah, a righteous man, and one who fears Elohim, and well spoken of by the entire nation of the Yehudim, the Jews, was instructed by a set-apart messenger, an angel, to send you to this house and to hear the words from you. Okay. Verse 28, and he said to them, you know that a Yehudi man, a Jewish man, is not allowed to associate with or go with one of another race. That's not Torah. That's Jewish doctrinal bullshit. But Elohim has shown me that I should not call any man common or unclean.
What?
Huh? Whoa.
Whoa.
Should not call any what? Common or unclean? Any man? From the guy who had the vision in context. And because Yah understand, he wrote the Torah, it's perfect. In the mouths of 2 or 3 let a thing be established. Acts chapter 10 tells the story, and then Acts chapter 11 is the retelling of the story so that you have 2 witnesses that make it perfectly clear this shit has nothing to do with what food is and isn't. Okay? Malachi 3 verse 6, I'm the Lord Yahuwah Sabaoth, I change not. We have a definition of food in Leviticus chapter 11. We don't need a new definition of food. We already have one. Acts chapter 10 and 11 is not about what food is or isn't. It's about the gospel, the good news of Yeshua HaMashiach, the reign, the coming of the Messiah, going out to all nations, which is not a New Testament construct. It goes all the way back to the book of Genesis with Abraham. Okay? It's the fulfillment of the covenant with Abraham that Peter is now sending out to the nations. Right? And you see Shaul of Tarsus, the Apostle Paul, comes on the stage as well after the stoning of Stephanos. And then blah, blah, blah. We could read the whole book of Acts together, except I've already done that with you on camera before. The point here is that people want to take maybe the greatest chapter in the entire New Testament, where deliverance is not simply for the house of Judah, but for the entire world, and turn it into some bullshit reason why you can now eat bacon because Jesus said so. It is complete and utter scriptural, biblical, spiritual laziness. You should be ashamed of yourself if that's the cornerstone with which you make your arguments. Horse shit. Now I'll turn the comments back on.
The tickling of ears.
Hey, tactically Torah.
Oh, hey everybody whom we love. Sorry about that. I get a little worked up. Had a guy made a comment earlier today on the video that I did at Camden, Tennessee. He said something to the effect of, you know, I know you're a brother, but I really have a hard time listening to what you have to say because you can't bridle your tongue. To which I thought, Yeshua would have whipped your ass, pussy.
Hey, Saw's just joined.
What's up? That's the brother right there. Who is not a sopping wet P-word. That's a good brother right there. So, Yeshua himself, he says to the Pharisees, when you went to see Yochanan the Immerser, John the Baptist, who did you think you were going to see? He's a man of rough speech who lives in the wilderness. He came in the spirit of Elijah. Elijah lopped 400 heads off at the Wadi Kidron as a prophet of Yah. And you guys are like, I don't like the way he's talking. Like, at least I don't have an axe in my hand. Right? Today. Praise Yah. And it just, people are just, they're in their little bubbles. And they want everything to be nice and palatable. Right? And really what you need is that.
They don't want to work for it.
No, they don't want to work for it. Why? Because they've been spoon-fed this horseshit doctrine. You know, I come to bring life and life abundantly. This is abundant life.
Oh.
The comfort of Babylon is not abundant life. We just read about that in the Torah portion this past week. Did you bring us out here to die in the wilderness? When we were in Egypt, we were in Mitzrayim, the land flowing with milk and honey. No, assholes, you just rejected the land flowing with milk and honey because you didn't want to go into it because there's giants in there and they're scary. And Yah's like, yeah, and you could kill those giants. You could slay those giants if you just would listen to me and do what I tell you to do. They're like, yeah, but that's hard, so we're not gonna. Instead, we're gonna stay outside of the promised land and bitch about it. And Yah goes to Moshe and he's like, I'm going to kill all of these people and start over with you. And Moshe, to his credit, falls on his face. Is like, please, Yah, no. Because he literally is like, what are the Egyptians going to think?
Yeah.
You told them, you said that you were going to bring these whiny-ass Hebrews into the promised land, and what are the Egyptians going to think? And you can almost hear Yah just like, son of a... All right, okay, right? And so, those guys not making it. Their children, they can go in.
If you ever read the Bible, do you think it's easy to get into heaven? You think it's going
Narrow
to be
is the
easy at
path.
all?
A remnant
Not
is
at
not
all.
2 billion people. It's just not. They're 8 people made it onto the ark. 8. And one of them was compromised.
Yeah, right.
So,
Dude, that's so real. Oh gosh.
yeah. Oh, goodness. I feel like I've done a lot of yelling at the camera in the last few minutes. Does anybody else have anything they want to say to the
we
people?
used a kid to patch up a hired man who got his arm stripped off in a skid loader accident.
Oh, so that's been reported
Yeah.
already.
Oh, so that's what he was saying. He was the same guy. And yesterday, somebody looks like he's got a story, but he like got it
Praise
rendered
Yah.
again yesterday.
Hey, all your aid rendering stories, praise Yah. Send them to admin at Refuge Medical or admin at Bear Independent. Katie Lynn's going to get all of them anyway, so just admin at any one of our 19 domains.
I tag other people in them after I read them.
Well, we got one from Intel at Bear Independent earlier today. Left 49 came to the Intel. I was like, that's
where
awesome.
did it come from?
So, thanks, Jimmy Carr. Bear, thank you for the gut check and the encouragement. You're welcome, Bradley.
Viking put out
What's
all
up,
kinds of
Drew?
videos today.
Bear, if I save one life, I'd be on cloud 8. How awesome do you feel after almost 50? Dude, I feel this big daily. Like, every day. We have such a cool job. And it's... A JOB is something you do, like, during set hours of the day. And are usually like looking at the clock while you're doing it, like when the hell can I get out of here? That's not us. That's not why we do and how we do what we do.
We had a super chat from Loft Defense Systems, LOF Defense Systems. Our friends up in Canada, so they had to break open their wound care bucket.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's awesome. So what about Yeshua having a brother named James? Jay wasn't used back then. Dude, you're totally correct. His name was Jacob. You're totally correct, because his name, Jesus and James were not, they both have J names. It was Yeshua and Jacob, or Yaakov, right? So, James or Yames. Yeah, Yames, basically. It all got anglicized, man. Go knife hand Henry VIII. So, start with Constantine and just knife hand everybody after that. Got a taste of what you guys do, and it's epic. Awesome, Drew. Praise Yah. No bacon and don't complain about rough speech. Yeah, there you go, Fluster Club.
She's got it.
And also, so let's go another direction. Yay, America, right? You do whatever the hell you want to do.
Right.
Actions have consequences. Our pastor says that, and he's correct. Actions have consequences. And we believe firmly in a high level of ideological alignment. And in case you haven't noticed, I'm really not good at not wearing my heart on my sleeve. You're always going to know what I think. And you don't have to believe exactly the way that we believe here in order to hang out here. Comma. We don't tolerate any horseshit from people that don't like the way that we believe. So you have the God-given, Mr. Atheist, you have the God-given constitutionally protected right to worship however you see fit. That's fine. And you look deep. You need a chair, brother?
No, I'm good.
Okay. If you look deep enough into that, our founding fathers talk about nature is God and the laws set forth by nature's God, right? Cool. So America, and it's a overdone talking point, founded on Judeo-Christian values. Yeah. You know what else was founded on Judeo values? Christianity. Go far enough back in the book, and it all starts lining up. Point being, you can think and feel however you see fit to do so. That's your right. That's your prerogative. To be frank, I'm not shedding any blood for your right to be scripturally wrong. But I will shed blood for our right to be scripturally correct. That's where my line is now. You have your rights. You go, you exercise them, homeboy. You do you. But my circle got a lot smaller. in the last few years. So you have every right to think and feel the way that you see fit, as do I. But I'm not going to defend your right to be wrong anymore. You can, the sifting is occurring. And the goats don't give a shit about the sheep.
Right.
And vice versa. And the chaff doesn't care about the wheat. And vice versa. And frankly, we got too much other shit going on in order for me, like, oh, some chaff was blown away by the wind. Yeah, it's a wheat harvest. That's what happens. It's a wheat harvest.
Do that.
It's gonna do that. Hi, sweetheart.
Hi.
I just want to hear, well done, good and faithful servant. That's right, Rain Cat. Bear thoughts on Jonathan Cahn and Harbingers. I think that dude has sold a lot of effing books. That's what I think. I've read a couple of them. How do I want to say this? If you haven't read the Old Testament, but you read Jonathan Cahn, your shit's out of whack. So let's start with that. Because most of the prophecy that he taught, and even if you're like, no, it's New Testament prophecy, hopefully you're working through the Revelation study that we're doing on YouTube here together. Revelation is Old Testament prophecy. It's just an amalgam. John's vision in Revelation is an amalgamation of Yehezkel, Ezekiel, Isaiah, Daniel, a lot of Daniel, Joel, what's that? Hosea, yep, and Ezekiel, and gosh, what's the other guy?
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Right, yeah. Is that Isaiah, Jeremiah, that guy. Jeremiah, Daniel, Ezekiel. Yeah, so who's the other guy I was talking about? My point here being, New Testament prophecy is Old Testament prophecy. So if you're into biblical prophecy but you haven't read the Bible, don't read Jonathan Cahn and take his word for what it says. That's horseshit. Next, I think that every generation since Yeshua walked the face of the earth has thought, this is it. This is Zechariah, thank you. Everybody's thought, he's coming back. Like, today. He's coming back today. It begs the question almost cynically, like, I can see people when they go, yeah, but is he? It's been 2,000 years, but is he? Yeah, but a day is like 1,000 years unto the Lord. So there's prophecy for that as well.
I think people are just naming books. Obadiah, Malachi.
Oh, you meant Habakkuk? Yeah. Jude. It's in 3rd Jude. Everybody read 3rd Jude.
Second Deuteronomy.
So
my question is, if you're reading interpretations without actually having digested the first part of the book, what are you doing?
yeah.
Why are you investing your time in what somebody else is saying about the second part? Because you don't understand the first part.
Yeah, it
Because
doesn't.
they're interlinked. They're tied.
I couldn't make it through the entire book. I should have returned it.
Here.
The Harbinger. I tried. I ordered 2 of them. I didn't make it through the first one. I probably should have returned them to Amazon I'm hard pressed to not finish a book. I read all the time, but I couldn't do it. It was just not my thing. A little too, I don't know, too prophetic, if that's a word. I don't know.
So there's a Torah for that. Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
Be not afraid of those people.
Yeah, I'm not afraid. I just wasted my time.
Right. Well, I mean, I think the thing is, like, for the audience on here, talking about, yeah, well, what do we think about his book? Meaning, like, is there any credence to his book? Well, the biblical interpretation of the word fear, like fear the Lord your God, Yahweh your Elohim, is deep respect. So are you going to deeply respect Jonathan Cahn's book, right? Are you going to give any credence to it? I wouldn't. Because all these, how many books full of prophecy do you have to come out with before you're like, yeah, that guy's not, like, what he said isn't true. And just, I found this thing, I took a screenshot of this years ago. This Old Testament, Genesis, New Testament, Revelation. Biblical timeline, 66 books right there. Each one of those lines represents a tie-in from the Old Testament to the New Testament. Okay? There are 63,779 known cross-references from the Old Testament to the New Testament. Additionally, what does it look like? It's a rainbow. What's the rainbow?
The covenant.
It's a sign of the covenant.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Pushing 64,000 cross-references from the Old Testament to the New Testament. So, when you say, well, that old stuff was done away with, it certainly doesn't look like it was. And if you read the old stuff, how much more understanding of the new stuff do you think you would have? Can you post that picture on Patreon? I can. Watch this. Whoa, knock it off.
It's all
If
the
you just Google
puppies.
cross references from Old Testament, New Testament, you can find it.
No faux.
They like to be.
Effort.
Oh,
Listen, they pay $5 a month. They get what they want.
Bear can Google it for them.
You can Google it for 'em.
we're just following what Bear says.
Google request.
Just do what Bear
That-
says.
that-
We won't
Yeah.
look it up ourselves.
That's typically
They don't
speaking
get a
of
link
bad
for me that says-
policy.
And Google it yourself.
Oh my! Oh, and there's another picture of a rainbow. Awesome, except it's an actual rainbow. Old Testament cross references mentioned in tonight's live stream. Boom, published.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. So, Jonathan Cahn, dude sold a lot of books. Any coincidence his last name's Cahn? I don't know. Just throwing that out there. Hello, sweetheart. The challenge here. Sorry, John. I like her more than you.
She's pretty.
I mean, you're all right, but you know.
What's up, lady?
Yeah. Anybody who prophesies in the name of Yah and their prophecy doesn't come true, do not fear that person. Fear, again, being deep respect. What's that?
Rock pile.
Rock pile. That's right. All right, what other questions we got? We're pushing 9 o'clock, and somebody has to get up at 5 a.m. and ruck tomorrow.
And somebody's been up since 3:30.
Well, that
Yeah.
sounds like fun.
The best, the most fun.
Yeah,
Wow.
Please tell Jay
can join
Jones
us
and
if you
Mad
want.
Kelt shalom for me.
that's my commitment.
George
us
says
if you
shalom
want.
for him.
Maybe.
Hey, George.
Hey,
Tav-
George.
Tavar
Shalom.
did, Tavar did too earlier.
Hey, shalom,
and also
Tavar.
Tavar.
Where are we going?
I think people are scared to death of the law. Yeah, they don't know shit though. You live in the United States of America. You're under 4 million laws right now. How oppressed do you feel? Not enough to revolt, clearly. So let's pick a burden of the law here.
My burden is light.
Yep.
You're scared of the law because you want to. You think for some reason that you can be in the world and of the world and then try to do the law. It doesn't work. That's when it gets really, really hard. It becomes really, really easy and intuitive because it's written on your heart, written on your mind, right? When you give up the world and live for Him, you start to wonder and wake up every day and go, man, why was I doing it any other way?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how stupid was I? Because it's natural. It's natural. The same thing with like raising your kids up in it. They'll be better than you
Yep.
at it.
And if you're looking for a purpose in life, that's it.
Yeah.
Boom. Answer.
Yeah. It's like it's not a burden, dude. It's a blessing. Oh man, the law is a blessing. It's literally an instruction manual. How many times do people joke, wish I had an instruction manual for this thing called life? You do.
Yeah.
You literally do.
Torah means instruction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Set apart means set apart. You can't be set apart and not set apart at the same time.
Yeah.
So you either choose to be set apart or you choose not
Yeah.
to be set apart. You can't call yourself set apart and eat bacon sandwiches.
So it's like,
You
you have
can't.
to go camping and eat cheap with your friends.
Set apart can't look like everybody else in the world.
Yeah.
you should stand out.
Yeah.
Yeah, my people are a peculiar people.
Yeah.
And the remnant is small.
Yes, it is. And that's like, we'll end with this. Appreciate y'all. We'll end with this. We're unapologetically us, in case you haven't noticed. There's not, well, our faith is deeply personal, and we... yeah, like, how do you...
Have you heard about y'all?
Where the hell were we? We were somewhere. We were driving somewhere across the country. Where were we going? We were going to Savannah, Georgia. And it was me and Alex and Dudley and then the training guys had the Ninja Turtles van.
Yep.
And so we're driving halfway across the country and we're somewhere in like the middle of nowhere and we're like, we gotta eat food. It's 10:30 at night. We gotta eat food. And there's a Walmart. And so they're like, all right, we're gonna go into Walmart. Everybody meet back at the truck in 15 minutes. We're gonna plow calories, get back on the road. And so at one point we lose Dudley somehow in a Walmart.
It happens
And
more
so
than you think.
We're walking around. Yeah, so we're walking around and like, where did Dudley go? And from across the Walmart you hear, and then Yeshua said in Mark chapter 5. We're like, there he is. And he's got the fried chicken lady on the other side of the counter. She's like, you know, and he's like, we wear the zoot suits so that we remember to do all of the commands. And I'm like, oh, love this guy. Yeah, we'll take an 8-piece, right? You know? And so, like, that's just how we are. And that's okay. And the challenge there, ideological challenge for all of our good, you know, American-spirited, patriotic souls out there, is if I have a God-given right to worship the way that I see fit, why you got such a problem with me doing that?
Right.
Even if it doesn't fit. Oh, Second Amendment. Yeah, what about the First? America. Yeah, but you don't like what I have to say. Well, I believe in Jesus. Cool, me too. I just know that he's not the son of Zeus because I did my homework and you didn't. And what people don't like is when somebody shines light on their shortcomings. And the thing that you have to understand is the reason I'm doing that is the same reason we do everything else that we do. Because I don't want you to die. That's why. Because at the end of an age, otherwise, you will die. Everybody's going to die. Not everybody's going to live. And the fact of the matter is, you were blameless if you didn't know before this live stream that you should be doing things differently. But you know now. So watching this channel is dangerous for your status quo. Because we will destroy your horseshit paradigms every chance we get. So that you can live righteously. So that at the end of an age, you're not bird food. Okay? That's what we're about. And if you don't like that, with all the love in my heart, kiss my hairy white ass and watch a different prepper channel. But that's what we're about. Unapologetically about. And so,
Spiritual prepper.
dude, to save lives while in service to the Father's kingdom and experiencing the abundance of his provision and blessing. That's it. That's how we do what we do. And the Father blesses that. And you either like it or you don't. And I guarantee you, the farther we go down this effed up timeline that we're on, the more people are not going to like it. And that's cool. Because I don't care. I don't require your approval. I require his approval. And that's why we're doing what we do. So with that, 9 p.m. Central-ish. Bless y'all. There's a ruck with my name on it for tomorrow morning. And I'm going to hang out with my friends for a hot minute, and then we're going to go to bed.
Tactically tour is awesome for that.
See y'all tomorrow in the morning for the brief. Shalom.
Shalom!